Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a full face of something video that I'm trying to film and post every single Sunday for you guys. Today we're going to be doing a full face of products that I bought and forgot about, or like bought and really never reached for. I feel like I saw Kathleen Lights do a video similar to this in the past, so I'll leave her channel and her video linked down below. But today basically I just created this look out of products that I have either purchased and never used, and it's been like a good amount of time since I purchased them, or they're just products that I maybe used to use or have used 1 to 2 times and just haven't reached for in a really long time. So if you guys want to see me apply a bunch of products to my face that I have purchased and forgotten about, then just keep watching. Alright you guys, so I have already gone in and cleansed and moisturized my skin, so we are ready to go. For primer today I have the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I think this is what this is called. Yes, I actually purchased this and have never used it. I think I bought this during the last Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, like towards the beginning of the year, because I was really interested to try this. I feel like this gets a lot of positive reviews, but then I had a bunch of other primers in my collection, so I didn't want to open this, and then I sort of just forgot about it. So this is the primer that we're going to be going in with today, and it has this really pretty purple consistency. Feels pretty thin on the skin, but it also feels very moisturizing. Okay, so what I do like right off the bat about this one is that it gives a nice sort of glow to the skin without being like too artificial looking. I also have the Becca Backlight Primer, which is funny because I bought that one after I bought this one, but I've used that one. And I feel like that one gives a little bit more of an artificial glow, whereas this one looks just a little bit more natural. Like this one just makes the skin look like it has like a healthy, I don't want to use the word shine because I know people don't like the word shine, but it just gives like a healthy looking glow to the skin. So for foundation, I have the No. 7 Stay Perfect foundation. I purchased this when I was doing my makeup rehab series. I think the reason I didn't use this is because I felt, first of all, I felt guilty for buying this because I knew I didn't need it. I already had quite a few other foundations in my collection, and I had told myself I would finish foundation before I bought another one. But for some reason this was just calling to me at the time, so I decided to purchase it. It is in the shade Cool Vanilla, so I'm hoping that the shade match will be good for me. I have tried another foundation by No. 7, I forget which one it is, but I really like that one and I've heard good things about this one as well, so I'm excited to give this a try. So the way that I like to apply my foundation personally is first with the brush and then I go in with the Beauty Blender, so that is exactly what I'm going to do today. Right off the bat, I feel like the shade match looks really good, which for me, I just always struggle to find a good shade match. Part of that's me, I think. This kind of smells like the pool. Like SPF mixed with chlorine. Not necessarily in a bad way, but that's just like, I don't know, that's what I'm gathering from the scent right now. Okay, so with the brush, I feel like it's applying slightly streaky, but part of that is just because I literally need to wash my brushes today. I will quickly mention that this claims to be for all skin types, medium coverage, and all day wear with sunscreen SPF 15. So that might be where the sunscreen scent is coming from. Now I'm just going to take just a little bit more on my Morphe sponge and blend it in seamlessly. Right off the bat for this foundation too, I really like it. I like the fact that it looks still pretty glowy, but leaning towards the natural side of things. Definitely not matte at all, which I hate matte foundations, so I am really liking this so far. The only thing is I feel like it might be sinking in to my nose lines just ever so slightly, so I will just make sure to set that really well. So for concealer today, I have the old version of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. I think they've redone the formula on this, either that or they came out with like a color correcting one. This is like my second concealer that I ever purchased, and I have used this one other time, but this was probably like 2 years ago. This is probably well past expiration. We'll make sure it still like has the same consistency and doesn't smell. Last time I used this, I literally had no idea what I was doing with makeup. I mean, even more so than I don't know now. And I just thought this was weird because it comes out of a squeezy tube, and I just didn't know how to best apply and things like that. So we're going to be going in with this concealer today. Now I do know this is a super full coverage concealer and you need very little product to cover a large amount of area. I do have mine in the shade Light. I wonder if they have a lighter than Light. Sometimes people do. This looks pretty light though. Okay, so I'm just going to go underneath my eyes to begin. And I'm going in with a Sigma F70 concealer brush. I'm just going to do one side and blend it just because it is so thick. I fear it's going to dry down and we're going to have a hot mess on our hands. Okay, so I actually don't hate the way that that blended out. So far I'm shocked. The only thing I will say about this is even if I do end up liking this, I don't see this being like a concealer I still use that often because of the fact that you have to paint it on. I just prefer like the little wand, just chit 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 and go. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I actually do not hate that, and I was expecting to really dislike that product. Before I conceal my forehead and my chin, I am going to set underneath my eyes with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I bought this, I think, at the beginning of this year. I'm almost certain it was the beginning of this year. And for me personally, my skin is too dry for the Laura Mercier translucent powder, so I actually don't like that powder, and I felt like such an outcast for not liking that powder. But I hear so many people rave about this powder for brightening underneath the eyes. I wanted to give it a try, but I think I've just been so nervous to give it a try because I think I'm not going to like it because I don't like the translucent powder. So we're going to be trying this today to set underneath the eyes. And I'm just going to take some on a damp sponge. Okay, it doesn't look too bad too far, but we'll see when we get to the end if it's looking a little creepy. I do feel like this concealer needs to be set just because it is pretty hydrating and sticky. Okay, so then I'm just going to add a little bit of concealer to the chin and a little bit up the forehead. Okay, so then I actually do want to set my face with powder today because I do have a pressed powder here that I bought, and I think I've used this like 1 or 2 times, and I don't really have an opinion either way on this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I have mine in the shade Fair, and I heard quite a few people raving about this at the beginning of this year, so I decided to pick it up. And for me, I just don't use powder every single day to set my face, and I got really into the Hourglass ambient lighting powder, so I was using that quite a bit. So we're going to go in with this today just on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to stamp this into my face and basically set my face before we go in with like bronzer, blush, and highlight so that we can ensure that it won't apply patchy. I do like this powder. It definitely like makes the face just look soft and pretty filtered, so I do like it. I just more to come on whether or not it leaves me looking dry later in the day. Okay, so we're gonna jump into eyes next, my least favorite part, because like I mentioned in all my videos like this, I am not a blending wizard and I basically suck at blending eyeshadow because I'm a very impatient person. But today we're going to be going in with the Violet Voss Like a Boss palette. This is what she looks like. I have swatched some of the shades in here, but I haven't actually used this palette, and I've owned this for probably a good month and a half now. This is what I do, you guys. I buy things that I'm super excited about and then I don't use them, and I don't know why it is. I feel like there's a part of me that like just knows I spent a lot of money on it, and for some ridiculous reason in my head I don't want to use it because I don't have to buy it again. It's literally the most ridiculous reason in the world. I do get that. But Violet Voss was on my list of 8 brands that I want to try in 2018. If you guys didn't catch that video, I will leave it linked below. And a lot of you guys in my update to that video where I said I hadn't tried anything from Violet Voss yet recommended the Like a Boss palette. There's some really pretty colors down here that I would like to play with, but I'm a little nervous about because again, I'm no blending wizard, so I don't want to like create a ridiculous look in this video. I haven't really planned out at all what I'm going to do, but I also have these 2 eye pigments from MAC that I grabbed for this video too. Now, one of these is probably like from my college or high school years, Softish Soft Wash Gray. Let's swatch these. I don't know how well you'll be able to see. There's the Soft Wash Gray. But then I also have this like red brown pigment that is beautiful looking. Okay, so this is like that, not red brown, like red teal shade that like is so popular. Look at the reflection on that. I would love to use this pigment. This is like one of those like $10 like grab bag items that They either leave up by like the Ulta counters or up by the MAC counters, and well, impulse buy sucked me in. So I'm thinking I'll probably just have to create like a warm brown look, and then I'll pop that pigment all over the crease. I might try and layer it with one of these shimmers so we can see what one of these shimmers looks like, and then we'll layer it after. Let's just start playing. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like. I'm going to jump into this shade right here, which is in the shade Hustle, and I'm just going to blow this out into my crease. I did just put concealer into, or like onto my eyes. I don't ever really use an eyeshadow primer. I just like never been the type, you know. One thing I do like to mention in these videos is that I have like severely hooded eyes, at least in my opinion, and I didn't realize that until like probably like 6 months ago. So I'm still kind of learning how to best apply eyeshadow, and again, I'm super impatient, so like even if I knew how to best apply it with a hooded eye, I'm just like too impatient to take the time to get like a really good blend. Okay, so I like that that just is like a pretty neutral but like warm shade. I could see myself wearing just this shade in the crease on like a day to work, and it did seem to blend out pretty easily. What I also like about this palette is the very large mirror that it offers. That's awesome. I decided to zoom you guys in for the eyes so that you can like really see how great of a blender I am. Okay, so next up I'm going to take this shade right here, which is in the shade Serve, and just on a Sigma tapered blending, I think this is the F40, I've used this so many times, this is like blended off, maybe it's an E40. Anyway, I'm just going to take this to deepen the crease even further. So far I'm not noticing too much powder kick up with these either, you guys, so if that is something you're concerned about, I haven't noticed much from this palette at all. Alright, so next up I'm going to take this warm darker brown shade in the shade Snatched, and I'm going to take this on my outer V. Alright, you guys, so I know I've only used 3 shades from this palette, but again, no powder kick up, blending really easily, etc. Now I do want to go in with that pigment, but before we do that, I want to go in with this Smart AF shade, which is similar to that pigment, but when I swatch it, here, let me show you guys. Okay, so this is the Shadow Smart AF swatched, and then this is the pigment swatched. So obviously the pigment is more pigmented, but I want to see how this shadow performs, and then I'm just going to go over top of it with the pigment. I'll probably F up the whole look, but we're just going to try it. So I'm going to take my MAC 242 and I'm going to see how this shadow applies first without any Fix Plus or any spray, and then I'll go in with spray assuming I need it, which I think I might for this one just based on the way it's swatched. Really like that shade, but it doesn't, I'm not noticing as much of a shift with it, and I think I would probably do, no, let's be honest, I'd probably do the same 3 browns in the crease and then put this with it, but it'd be fun to do like some sort of green shade in the crease with this. This could be a really pretty holiday shade. Okay, so that is what it looks like without Fix Plus. I do want to try it with Fix Plus and just see how much more pigmented we can get. Oops. Okay, as per usual with most shades, it's definitely better with some spray in my opinion. I'm all about this Smart AF shade. I think it's so pretty. Again, I would love to try it with more of like a green toned look. But now I'm going to go in with this MAC pigment. This is in the shade Blue Brown, and I'm going to put this all over the lid. Dang it, I should have known I'd get fallout with the pigment. Wow, holy smokes. That is super pretty. I just like hate working with pigments, but gosh, they can really spice up a look. So this was with no Fix Plus or anything. Okay, I'm gonna go on with the tiniest amount of inspo, this black shade, just to try and just deepen this up just ever so slightly. And dipping back into Snatched just one last time. Alright guys, so I'm going to pop some liner onto the top lash line because I'm going to attempt to go in with lashes today. So for liner, I have the Kat Von D tattoo liner. Now I have used this before, but not many times. I purchased the full size of this and I've maybe used it 2 times just because I thought I was going to be really into winged liner, but if you can't even blend your eyeshadow, do you really think I'm capable of winged liner? Not really. But for lashes today, we're going to go in with the Huda Beauty Samantha lashes. Now, with lashes in general, I feel like I buy them and never use them because I suck at putting lashes on. So these are no exception, and I'm sure I'm going to have to trim these. This is going to suck. Alright guys, so that actually went okay. I do like these lashes. They're a bit, I feel like they're a bit dramatic, even though I know they're like fluffier. But I'm just not used to wearing lashes. But I do like these. Again, they're the Huda Beauty Samantha number 7. Alright guys, so I didn't necessarily have a waterline eyeliner to use, so I'm going to use this 24/7 Glide On pencil by Urban Decay that I just got in a set and haven't used yet. This is in the shade Goddess, and it's almost like a sparkly midnight blue. So we're going to just see how this looks with the look. And I'm going to pop this into my waterline. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I feel like the 24/7 Glide On pencils by Urban Decay are super hit or miss on whether or not they're good and they last. Like for example, Heartless, which is a light pink, I really like want that shade to work well, but I feel like it just does not show up in my waterline. Okay, so then I'm just going to take Snatched and Swerve on the lower lash line again and complete this look, if I can find the brushes I'm looking for. I do wish that I had gone in and done my eyes first, especially using that pigment, just because I do have some fallout by my nose that I can't seem to like fix. And the fallout does seem to be mostly from the MAC pigment, not from the actual eyeshadow palette. I really didn't notice any fallout onto my face with this palette, and again, these don't appear to be too powdery. Then I'm going to take this Fierce shade, Then I'm going to take this Fierce shade in my inner corner. And we are going to call it a day for the eyes. Now we're going to move on to the rest of the face. Okay guys, so for bronzer, I have this bronzer from The Balm. Now I've used this a few times, but I kind of like used this the first month of having it and then sort of just forgot about it and put it away. And this is the one in my collection that's probably gotten the least amount of use. So that's why I decided to pull it in for this video. The Balm was another brand that I wanted to try in 2018. I had tried Mary Lou, the highlight, but that was it. So I wanted to try their bronzer. Now I do feel like the shade is a little bit probably too dark for me right now, but you know what, we're just gonna roll with it for the sake of this video. I'm gonna start with my Morphe R2 and just pop this onto my forehead to begin. Okay, so that is one layer, and it's not looking as bronzy on the viewfinder, but in person I'm looking pretty dang bronze. So we're going to stick with one layer. But I do like this bronzer. Again, I think it's just like a little bit too dark for me. So I have to be really careful about the times of years that I use it. I do know that they've come out with like their Oscar either bronzer or contour products now, and it seems like a lot more people like those. I just haven't picked that up yet because, well, I'd only used this a few times, so I figured I couldn't justify that purchase. My blush is actually going to be a blush by The Balm as well. Again, I've used this one a few times, but this is probably the blush in my collection that's not like a ridiculous color that I've used the least. So this is the Balm Springs long wearing blush. Looks like this. It definitely looks not necessarily like a color that I want to be using this time of year, but again, for the sake of this video, we are just going to go in with this. And I do know already that I do enjoy this blush, or the few times that I've used it, I've enjoyed it. Okay, I am now blushing. Okay, and then finally for a highlight, I have the Cover FX pressed powder in Moonlight. The reason I decided to buy this was because I knew I really enjoyed the liquid highlights at the time, and Moonlight was my favorite liquid highlight. I think there's a Moonlight. No, there's not. I think it's Candlelight. Sunlight? Regardless, I wanted to try one of their pressed highlights because I'd heard good things about it, and I used this one other time, and I think it was just like not the best color for me, at least at the time, so I kind of like put this to the side for a while, but we are going to try it out again today. I'm trying to look for a highlight brush, and I do feel like I remember this being pretty intense, maybe? Okay, well, this definitely is like a little bit more of a subtle highlight in my opinion, so if you're going for more of a subtle look, then this might be the highlight for you. For some reason I thought this was going to be like beaming, maybe because those liquid highlights are beaming and I just always think of those. But this is what the highlight looks like. Now I don't have a spray to share with you guys today, so I'm just going to go in with my new Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine spray that I tested out in last week's video. So this one is new to me, but I have used it before. And I'm going to use this to set the face. LOL, I realized I clearly don't have a lip color on yet, and I think the reason is because I have so many lip products in my collection that I bought and haven't tried that I was feeling a bit overwhelmed by what to choose, and I honestly don't know if the one that I chose is going to go with this look, but we're going to give it a shot. This is the Mellow Cosmetics Matte Liquid Lip Paint. I bought this probably like a year and a half ago when I was really into doing liquid lipstick reviews, and I honest to God have a box of probably 30 liquid lipsticks I've never tried because I bought from different brands to review, and then those reviews take literally all day, so they're kind of hard to film. But if you guys are interested in liquid lipstick review videos, again, let me know, and also let me know which ones you would be interested in me reviewing. I've definitely gotten less interested in liquid lipsticks as my makeup preferences have changed over the years. This is in the shade Budapest, by the way. I'm gonna swatch it on my hand really quick. I just don't know if this is going to match my eye look, but it's a very fall-esque shade. And again, I have never tried this one. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna go with my look too much. Really thin formula and really easy to apply. Not streaky so far on the bottom lip, but I do feel like I'm gonna want to layer this. Okay. Definitely not a lip color that I would probably pair with this look again. However, I did really enjoy at least the way that this applied. It was super easy, super moisturizing, and really thin, weightless feeling consistency. So fairly impressed. And after that, that is going to complete the look for today. Testing out, trying on, putting on makeup that I bought and either never used or bought and haven't used in a really long time. Never reached for, if you will. Let's quickly run through all of the products. So we started with the Becca First Light Priming Filter. Really like this off first impressions. Again, you guys, I'll come back in a couple weeks and do a hits and misses video for you guys so that I can give you kind of a better review on these products. But off first impressions, I really liked the First Light Priming Filter more so than I think the Backlight Priming Filter, because I feel like this gives a little bit more of a natural finish. Then we have the No. 7 Stay Perfect Foundation. I'm actually really enjoying this foundation off first impressions. I feel like it gives a natural luminous sort of finish to the skin, which is something that I definitely look for in a foundation, so I'm really excited to keep testing this out. Then we have the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, which I actually was surprised that I didn't hate it. I'm going to have to try this a few more times. I do dislike the fact that it is like a squeezy and you have to paint it on. I just don't prefer the application, but it is really full coverage and I really like, I don't know, I like the shade and I like the way that it performed. So I'm going to keep testing this and I'll let you know more on this in a few weeks. So then we have the two powders. We had the Laura Mercier Under Eye Secret Brightening Powder. I definitely feel like so far I like it better than the translucent powder. I feel like next time I use this, I might even dampen my Beauty Blender a little bit more, or maybe even spray some of that Catrice Prime and Fine on it, just to give it like even more of a chance to not look dry, because I do feel like it's looking like a little bit dry underneath the eyes and I've only had it on for like an hour or so. This is also so messy. So messy. And then we have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. Like I said, I've used this a couple other times and I actually really do like the finish of this powder. I don't always use a pressed powder, but I feel like this does a really nice job of kind of giving you an airbrush sort of look. It definitely gives a nice finish to the skin, and so far I've really enjoyed the powder too. Then we have the Violet Voss Like a Boss gloss palette, and granted I've only used 4 shades in this palette, so I'm going to keep using other shades. Definitely want to try out more of the shimmer shades to see how they perform. I do think the shimmer that I did use, which was in the Smart AF color, definitely looked better when built up with some MAC Fix Plus, but as far as the mattes are concerned, they blended really easily, and I really enjoyed the mattes in this palette. So more to come on this. Again, it's really hard, you know, to give like a fair first impressions because your impressions can change so much once you really dive into a product. And we had the MAC Pigment in Blue Brown. I really enjoyed the pigment, but again, I should have done my eyes first because it definitely does have fallout. I feel like I definitely should have gone in also with a glitter glue because I feel like this is already starting to kind of wear away, so I'd be interested to see how this performed with the glitter glue. I will try to do that in the next couple weeks, use this pigment again with a glitter glue so I can give you guys kind of more of a fair opinion on that. For me, pigments just are not something that I use all the time, so I don't necessarily know that, you know, I'm gonna go run out and buy a bunch more pigments, but I thought that this was a cool pigment for sure. Then I have the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Goddess. I really actually do like this one. It's a nice shimmery midnight blue. This one went into the water eye. This one went into the waterline easily, and it definitely is still there. I mean, I've only had this on probably for like 30 minutes, so I'll let you guys know if this one wears away fast. Like I said, I find the 24/7 Glide On pencils to be a little bit hit and miss, but so far so good on this one. Then we have the Huda Beauty Samantha lashes, which I actually do really like these. They were pretty easy to apply, and I like that they're pretty fluffy. They're dramatic but fluffy, so I don't know. It's hard for me to have like a true opinion on lashes just because I wear them so little, but I do actually really like these so far. And then finally we have the Mellow Cosmetics liquid lipstick. I know I just put this on my lips. Again, probably would not pair these two together. It's not like the worst pairing ever, but probably would have gone with a different lip with this eye look. But this does feel like it's drying down. Like my lips are feeling a little bit more dry now. However, this applied super easily. Very thin formula, feels moisturizing as you're putting it on your lips. Really easy to get on your lips, not streaky. So far I am impressed with this liquid lipstick formula. Dry liquid lipstick formulas don't bother me too much because I'll just either add a gloss or just like basically suffer it out. I don't know. Dry formulas don't bother me too much. I forgot to talk about the bronzer, blush, and highlight. Again, I've used the bronzer and the blush before. In fact, the blush was a favorite for me at one point, but this is just something in my collection I haven't reached for in such a long time. I feel like I got a little bit heavy-handed with that blush actually, and this is just not a blush color that I would be reaching for right now just because I feel like it's more of a springtime color. But not a bad blush, a good formula. This one lasts a pretty long amount of time. I feel comfortable recommending the Balm Springs blush. And again, I do enjoy the bronzer too, but I just feel like it's a little bit dark for me, especially as we enter into the colder months of the year. I am from Minnesota. I don't see a whole lot of sun, but I also I enjoy the formula. I just think it's not necessarily the best shade color for me. Finally, we have the Cover FX Moonstone Highlighter. Like I said, I expected this to be a little bit more intense, and it's just a little bit more on the subtle side. I remember not liking the shade of this, but right now I actually do like the shade. I guess if you're looking for more just of like a lit from within type of highlight, this is going to give it to you. This is what I'm excited to kind of play around with some more. I feel like I actually do. I feel like it's giving like a nice wet look to the skin, but not like beaming. So I actually feel like I do like this. You guys will have to let me know if you've tried the pressed Cover FX powder and what you think about it. I just thought it was going to be beaming. After that, you guys, that is going to conclude this video and this makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You'll have to let me know what products you have in your collection that you just never reached for, or maybe you bought and forgot about. I'm definitely interested in hearing your guys' answers on that. Other than that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!